BadgerLink is Wisconsin's online library, providing Wisconsin residents with a collection of over 60 licensed trustworthy databases and online resources from 6 content providers. With over 60 resources to share, you may be asking yourself, should I share all BadgerLink resources with my middle school level students? No. Some resources in the BadgerLink collection are not intended or the best option for our middle school students. BadgerLink is a collection meant for all Wisconsin residents over their lifetime, so some resources will apply better than others, depending on the user's age and research needs. Today, I will be providing an overview of BadgerLink's best bets or most popular resources for middle school students. I will be using the Middle School Resource Guide to highlight these resources, since resource guides were created to do just that, narrow down the resources based on an audience or subject area. All the resource guides are available on the BadgerLink website at badgerlink.dpi.wi.gov. On the For Library staff page, under the Resource Guide section, there are 3 grade level guides: elementary, one for middle school, and one for high school. This section also has quite a few other resource guides that have been created for the same purpose, but other audiences of BadgerLink users. These guides were developed to be shared however works best for you, whether that is printing them as a handout, or posting them on your website, or using them as a selection tool when putting direct links to resources on your own website. Each grade level guide lists a handful of the most applicable, most popular BadgerLink resources depending on that grade level. The Middle School Resource Guide lists 5 resources: Britannica School Middle, Britannica Escolar, Explora, Middle Search Plus, and NoveList K-8. These resources are the most used by students in grades 6th through 8th grades. Each resource has a different interface, so provides students with different research content and information. These resources are made by 2 different content providers or vendors as well, so that also factors in when considering their different look and feel to searching and the information you will find in each one. The first 2 resources are from content provider Britannica Education, or Encyclopedia Britannica, as they are commonly referred to. Britannica School is the main resource offering from Britannica Education, containing articles, biographies, images, video, and maps from Encyclopedia Britannica content. This resource is broken out into 4 grade levels: early elementary, elementary, middle, and high. The middle level is highlighted on the Middle School Resource Guide. A quick note before I dive into this first resource: the URLs found on the resource guide are linked to the BadgerLink webpage with more information. This is because these URLs are easier to type out in case students are accessing these guides in print. However, the logos for each resource take the student directly to the resource homepage. So when students are using the guide online, they can simply click on the logo to get directly to the resource. This is the homepage of Britannica School Middle. Up here at the top is a feature called In the News. Upon going to the news article, students can read about a timely topic. They are changed up pretty frequently, every week or so. Britannica incorporates not only the article information, but images and video from Britannica's massive encyclopedia content. Towards the bottom, you'll usually find a word of the day and a bit of a game, such as a word search or a crossword, as well as the news articles that were in the past. So that is the In the News feature found in Britannica School Middle. I also want to highlight some features found at the article level, so I'm going to click on the Article Browse button. You can see students can browse a wide range of topics popular with middle schoolers. I'm going to select the first browsing category and one of the first articles that comes up here. From an article, you can see the navigator section to the left of the article content is where students can change the reading level here at the top. Navigate through the article with the slider feature, going through each section of the article. Lower down, you'll find options to cite, save, send, print. You can use Google Translate to translate into over 100 languages, increase or decrease the font size, and utilize the Open Dyslexic font. Again, this resource is Britannica School Middle. Back on the Middle School Resource Guide, the second resource found there is also a Britannica resource, Britannica Escolar. Britannica Escolar is a Britannica resource of encyclopedia content completely in Spanish. Also broken out into elementary and middle school levels, encyclopedia content in Primaria is available for elementary school students, while Secondaria is reserved for more of the middle school level. All the encyclopedia content available for students who speak and read Spanish fluently and can access articles, images, maps, tables, timelines, as well as a complete dictionary and atlas. This resource isn't really for learning Spanish as much as native Spanish speakers accessing the same Britannica content in that language. Again, this is Britannica Escolar. The next resource is from content provider EBSCO and is Explora for middle and high schools. Explora is a search interface of EBSCO resources, searching across more than one EBSCO resource based on the level of Explora chosen. Explora for middle and high school searches 12 EBSCO resources on topics such as consumer health, environment, history, literature, and science. Students are able to browse by popular, timely subjects at the top of the homepage, as well as explore more general topics below the image slider. There are also featured collections and featured content lower down on the page. Explora for middle and high school contains academic journal articles, magazine articles, newspapers, and encyclopedia information. I'm going to select a timely subject here at the top to show an example of the type of content that you may find. So usually there is at the top a topic overview with content from an encyclopedia on the subject that is being searched, or just a basic overview from an EBSCO resource, in this case, Points of View reference source. Upon clicking on the full text of an article, one will find a similar suite of searching and saving and citing and downloading tools as we were seeing in Britannica School. Again, this resource is Explora for middle and high schools. As I mentioned, when discussing Explora for middle and high schools, multiple EBSCO resources are searched. One of those resources is Middle Search Plus. The next EBSCO resource we will look at Middle Search Plus is an EBSCO resource with full-text magazines for middle school students. This resource contains over 170 full-text popular children's magazines like Sports Illustrated Kids, Scholastic News, and National Geographic. The magazines cover a variety of topics and include 55,000 primary source documents. Often when I use a database like this, I go right to the publication search on the left side of the page in order to look for a particular magazine title. I mentioned National Geographic magazine. And upon selecting Middle Search Plus as the database, I can then do a search within this publication or access the latest issue based on date. Again, similar to Britannica resources, a full suite of tools is available, including citation and saving tools when accessing full text articles from this resource. And that is Middle Search Plus. Finally, NoveList K-8 is a children's fiction reading recommendation resource with read-alikes and book reviews of titles. Students can search for books by keyword or terms of appeal like style and mood. Be sure to mind the age ranges in each of the features of NoveList K-8 when selecting reading lists or story elements or series titles and browsing features. There are ages 9 to 12 listed, but sometimes they aren't shown right away by default. Again, this resource is NoveList K-8. These 5 resources make up the Middle School Resource Guide and provide a great collection of resources from BadgerLink for your 6th through 8th grade students. In briefly highlighting these resources today, I hope an idea for sharing and using them in the classroom has been sparked, or maybe you saw a new resource or feature that would be a great addition to the library resources you usually highlight for your middle school students. Again, you can find the Middle School Resource Guide with all the resources I highlighted today on the BadgerLink website, on the For Library Staff page, under Resource Guides. The direct links to the resources found on the Middle School Resource Guide or any resource guide can be shared with your students via your own web pages on your library or district website. To find our direct links to resources file with all BadgerLink resources listed, select the Getting Started section above the Resource Guide section on the For Library Staff page. And here you will find the direct links to resources file to select all the BadgerLink resources you wish to share with your students and educators. You can also integrate these resources into your learning management systems, library management systems, and single sign-ons like ClassLink and Clever. If you would like to add BadgerLink resources to these third-party platforms, please reach out to us using our Contact Us form or email badgerlink@dpi.wi.gov. The information needed to integrate these resources into these platforms is not the same as the direct resources file found under Getting Started, so be sure to reach out to us for that info. Please share these resources with your middle school students and their educators because we know that resources that are shared are used, and thank you for promoting and supporting BadgerLink resources in your libraries and schools.